Titus Kaphar, a contemporary artist of African descent, uses painting over, erasing, cutting, and layering to recontextualize traditional Western art pieces to reveal the way that simply accepting the narratives these pieces present perpetuates white supremacy, the patriarchy, and capitalist exploitation. In his art show, Drawing the Blinds, Kaphar uses his skill of traditional portraiture technique to paint images similar to the hegemonic pieces one sees in history textbooks and museums. He then appropriates these images by altering the original image through cutting, painting, ripping, or folding, and juxtaposing them with an image of a lesser-told narrative. In Behind the Myth of Benevolence, 2014, Titus Kaphar recontextualizes a traditional portrait of Thomas Jefferson by layering an image of a naked black woman underneath. This layering uncovers the narrative of black women's relationships to the white founding fathers. This exposure of the white supremacy, capitalism, and patriarchy perpetuated by the mythologizing of historical figures calls viewers to practice critical viewership and interrogate narratives that are originally presented as the one and only truth. Thomas Jefferson is the author of the phrase, "All men are created equal," yet he owned about 600 slaves throughout his life. By centering Jefferson's role in this exploitative system of slavery, rather than focusing on his political career, Kaphar critiques the traditional American narrative of this mythologized founding father. The layering Kaphar uses in his work simultaneously strips agency from Thomas Jefferson and gives agency to the woman layered underneath. By peeling back the image and obscuring most of Jefferson's face, only revealing part of one eye and the corner of his mouth, Jefferson's agency is lost and given to the woman in the background, whose entire face is shown. The woman in the background also appears naked, though only her face and part of her arm and leg is shown. This nakedness implies vulnerability and the exploitation of women's bodies. Yet, her strong gaze counteracts this vulnerability, reclaiming her agency and confronting the history that has ignored her and the legacy that this silence has created. Cultural theorist Stuart Hall argues for the importance of questioning traditional representations and creating new work that reveals new perspectives. Hall also emphasizes the impact the absence of certain representations or narrative have. Kaphar's work questions traditional representations of historically celebrated white men in American history by showing the way the narrative of black women is inextricable from the narrative of Thomas Jefferson and the United States founding and continued economic prosperity. Kaphar critiques the hegemonic narrative being taught in school, perpetuated through museum artwork, and given immortality from monuments.
I don't want you to think that this is about eradication. It's not.